And we are live.
You didn't do the countdown though.
I skipped the
We're still
last
at
two.
three.
It's like radio. You
Still
skipped
at,
the last two.
we're still at 3.
2-1.
Oh, okay. Hey, welcome everyone to another episode of LiveBrush. Manning the control room is none other than Kate's temporary control producer and underling, Tyler Jacobson.
Yeah. I think I'm supposed to press buttons and stuff will happen, but I'm not sure.
That is accurate. Yeah.
Oh man. So how you been, man?
Good. It's my dog's birthday. She's
Whoa.
8. She's 8 years old. I can't believe I got her 8 years ago.
Wow. What is that in like?
It's like 5,000 or something. Dog years?
Yeah.
4 or 5,000. I'm not really
4 or
good
5,000?
at maths.
Yeah.
Mathematics.
It's like a dune dog. Right?
Yeah, she's become a worm creature. But that's what happens over time. You just become one of those.
Yeah. Well,
What's going on with you?
Not much, man. I'm here painting. Trying to make it happen. What am I trying to make happen? Not sure, but trying to make something happen. Really looking forward to getting back into this piece here. I feel like I remember you were like, "Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to work on my piece like you were referring to your piece until the stream." And I was like, "Oh man, I just realized like, yeah, me too. I have so much other stuff that I have to do." So like literally where we left off is where this thing is at, which is wild, which is really nice for everyone to see. So
yeah, no one has missed a beat. Oh, we already got a question. Amazing.
No, you don't have a question. I just wanted to point out that a Gary Secreter just resubscribed. But not only that, that's 6 months of subscribing. Y'all have been taking those Twitch bucks for 6 months.
Holy smokes!
How did that happen?
That is
amazing.
6 months. Wow. Thank you so much.
What have we done in 6 months, everybody? We painted a few pictures. I think I painted Kurt Russell 5-8 times, maybe.
And David Peterson just rated us. What's up, everybody? The guard prevail. Thank you, Mouse Guardians.
Oh my gosh, fantastic!
My God, the guard prevail. It's so great to see you folks. Wow, it's been a while. That's awesome.
Welcome.
We lined up.
All.
Wasn't I just Kate? Was I talking to you about like? I was like, you know who I missed? The Mouse Guard crew. And
yeah, you were just saying that.
I don't think that their stream lines up with ours, but yeah,
now this convenient new time slot works for everybody, including David Peterson.
It's incredible.
Thank you for coming over, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for coming over. And thank you to David Peterson for rating us. Our gates are open to you, and we have plenty of mutton and mead for all.
That does sound pretty good.
All right, so what are you working on today?
I'm still chugging away at this. I feel like this is what happens to me a lot on a piece. I'm like, this is kind of working, but doesn't have what I want. So I'm probably gonna go a little crazy today and just start tearing it up. I want this to be a little weirder.
Okay.
Right now it does just look like a regular guy, regular spaceman. So I'm gonna like mess with the finger anatomy. I think I'll probably add some more arms. Maybe some equipment. I'm just gonna mess with it like crazy, and then I can keep the like medieval dudes pretty plain. So there's some juxtaposition there in the visuals.
All right.
But what about you? What are you doing? You gonna change course crazy like me, or are you gonna stick to your guns?
Well, I'm gonna get nuts and start finishing stuff off. I've been kind of searching for right colors here and there. And now I'm going to start to speed up, which I don't think I've ever said.
Yeah, I've never heard you say it.
I've never used the S word.
Speed up. You gonna be okay?
I don't know. You know. we'll see. I bet you on YouTube though, if you more likely than not, if you play this back, like if you watch the YouTube VOD at 2.5 speed, it'll look like I'm probably going normal speed. So you know, I'm speeding up for me in terms of my thinking. So I'm gonna hopefully try and cover this whole thing, so I can get to the oil painting part and kind of finish things off. I'm starting to miss it. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm gonna go oil painting on this eventually, but
Hey,
right now I want to make.
Me. I just said that.
I'm
literally just said
I'm gonna copy you. That's the whole point of this show, Ray.
F in the chat if you've heard this story before, Tyler. Me saying something and then Tyler's saying the same exact thing.
Look, we decided this
plagiarism.
Way at the beginning. We decided that you were going to do things on this show, and I was going to blatantly rip them off. And I'm not changing.
Yeah. Oh my God. So hopefully my my video is a lot better for everyone. I do apologize about the tech issues last stream. I was so frustrated that I stayed up until like 1:30 my time trying to troubleshoot. Yeah, isn't it wild?
East Coast time? That's like
East Coast.
Like 1:30 in the morning. East Coast is like
it's pretty much 1:30 in the morning for the world. Like nobody's around, right? It doesn't matter where you live, you know. So
anybody who's worth a damn.
So yeah, we'll you know, I've been hopefully it's better because you folks deserve the best possible. Yeah, Everquate says Christmas a fall maple leaf. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
See that?
That's what Canadian. It sounds Canadian.
Yeah, but that's called a compliment, Tyler. Something I think that
and it's a metaphor too, right?
That the viewers of this show demand from you to me, you know.
Yeah, I know. I haven't, and I do apologize that I haven't been paying Ray as many compliments as I could be. But I don't know, man. We've been friends for a long time. I feel like I can just kind of ignore him every once in a while.
Right. Oh my God. All right.
So I'm going crazy over here. I feel like he needs some really weird shaped arms. So I'm giving him some like longer weird ones with like really weird fingers. We're going crazy. I was going to swear, but I'm trying to keep that down on LiveBrush because we got a lot of kids subscribing.
Yeah.
And you can just warn me that you're going to swear, and I can make sure that the button is ready to
go. Okay. Let me try it.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure this. I'm going to swear.
Okay, go for it.
I'm going to make sure this fucking guy.
And there's our first red flag.
That was good. So that's how you do it in the movie biz.
Yeah. That's called, yeah. Hey, we're live to tape, baby. We're a live to tape show.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live, you know? Incredible. Kate, I thought you nailed it.
I was a joke. I did it for comedic effect. I can absolutely do a good job. I just choose to do a bad job. And I want there to be a distinction.
Listen.
I do it every day in my life.
You know, I always forget about the gong. I don't know why. Like I always forget about the gong. And then it always catches me off guard. And I think it's like the most hilarious thing in the world. Isn't it ridiculous?
I mean, it's the little things. And it's simple humors that bring us all together.
It's a gong, man. There's nothing little about a gong.
We like jokes on this show. All right. This is what we're into. This David Peterson, by the way, is also hosting us on his channel.
Whoa.
So
David.
That's a choice. That's a choice that David Peterson made. Thank you very much.
Goodness, David, thank you so much.
Saucefire says, we like to laugh at least once a show. I think it keeps us young.
Yeah. It keeps me something.
Yeah, but I don't like to laugh too much, you know.
I've lost a lot of hair on the top of my head since LiveBrush. So
that's true, man. That's true. Yeah. I've known you for a long time.
I know.
I figured I didn't want to think it was LiveBrush doing it, but now I know.
Can you believe? That's what I wanted to point out. Is it? When was our 6-month anniversary of the show?
I don't know. I mean, I guess we got the VODs up on the YouTubes, so. But I'm not. When did we start this? Somebody do the math, because I can't.
I was like, I'm just like shocked by the by that resub, and I was like, because it does right. It says the timeline 6 months. That's crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah, Dr. Mondo 7 points out that the math actually adds up to about 4 to 5 years. That's in dog years, but also in 2020 years. So we've both been doing this barely at all, and also for most of our adult lives.
A half a decade. Yeah,
that's true. This year really has felt kind of like that. Like, what is time? Are we in a perpetual Groundhog Day? I don't know.
Happy Groundhog Day, by the way.
Was it today or yesterday? Or is it now?
Day before yesterday.
Yeah. There was even casualties on Groundhog Day, for goodness sake. Like, did you see the New Jersey version of Puxatawny?
No, is it like a Jersey Devil of some kind, or?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a groundhog, and it passed away because the mayor of New York dropped it.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry I laughed. I shouldn't have laughed. But come on, that's hilarious.
Nuts. It's like the mayor of New York dropped the groundhog, and then a couple of days later, it said they passed away from internal injuries, and the zoo tried to keep it under wraps.
Oh my God! Which mayor is this?
Cover up?
Is this Giuliani?
Yeah, it was a cover up. Giuliani.
Did I expect that from him?
Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan? No.
Was it Martin Scorsese?
It's Scorsese, right? Oh God, yeah. So pretty wild.
I have a LiveBrush anecdote. We were driving around in the car.
Don't drop the groundhog.
Don't drop the groundhog. That's my life advice. But we were driving around in the car, going to pick something up or drop something off. One of those like weekly. We drive into town now, once a week.
It's like Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, it feels that way. Anyway, we're driving back, and Tyler's yammering on about art.
Jesus.
And he just drops a casual Bill mention. And I said, Bill Mon? And he said, yeah. And I howled in the car.
Yeah. This has come all the way home, everybody. And then we said we need to let Bill know. We need to let Bill know.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know that he's a meme on this show.
Yeah, but you have to think about it like, does he? He knows.
He probably does know.
He probably does know.
And he's probably drafting up a letter. He's like, I don't want to be on your television show.
A cease and desist order, right? That's how you know you've made it big. Right? It's like cease and desist by Bill Mon.
Okay,
and I love how Kate pulled a Bill Mon reference by enacting it herself. It just usually comes up organically. And Kate was by you or me, but Kate was the one that did it. This was
I never get to. I never get to trigger them all.
LiveBrush first.
I just like that we've said his name so many times, so rapidly over the past few minutes that no hows have even occurred. It's just been too fast.
Can you imagine a Bill Mon supercut? I'm just saying, 6 months. Right?
Well, I think we can do an auto-tune kind of thing out of it. And if we don't, what are we fighting for?
Yeah. Oh, God. That's too funny. So I am going back to this very cool, cold area, a lot of blues, and I'm just reblocking these large areas in, covering a little bit more of my underpainting. You can see I'm mixing my blues and some violets here. I'm still working in acrylics, by the way. Yeah, this time, I usually poke around, and then when I find a color I like, I then just start to commit to it. But I find that I do things in passes. like filling in little spots, and then slowly but surely, like I'll give it another pass, or I'll fill in another, and then another pass, or I'll fill in another. And so by the time I get to oil paints, I'll basically do like a final pass where I really make things nice and nuanced, I should say.
I mean, do you find that's like a good way to build up the at least illusion of lots of detail?
Yeah, maybe. I guess so. Yeah, I think so. I think it allows me to give it a couple of not feel the need to have something completely try and be super accurate, but give myself space to go back and correct stuff. And so I find that for me, at least, it's really consistent to the way I think about building images, like kind of little by little, and then fully committing. But what the end result is a lot of like little broken colors, like you were just saying, and like things that shapes that come together to become detail, and certain things are not really painted and other things are.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like a look that I enjoy. Is it's a layered approach essentially, but you're getting a lot of interesting shapes that way, and a lot of interesting textures. That it's those happy accidents that I like to see in a lot of work. So
right, you know, I think in school, like you and I were really taught, at least like in some of our classes, to kind of paint everything in flatly and blocking everything in, which is a really solid way of learning. And I still do it when I teach, for sure. But I found that like I really enjoy kind of coming at it slowly but surely, and putting in these sort of tiles of color and making everything from those tiles, you know. It gets me the textural effect that I really like, you know, that Dean Cornwell and like all those like Brandywine painters and whatnot. But it was the first thing that made sense to me in painting, because I think for a while a lot of the stuff wouldn't, you know, I would fill everything in and then just be like, okay, now what do I do? It looks like crap, and I have no idea where I started, and I lost my drawing, and you know, I can't look at anyone in the eye. So I remember that. I remember like we were in Jia Ming's class. Jia Ming Wu, who's another one of our teachers back at the academy.
The great Zhao Mingwu. Everyone, please check him out.
Yeah,
just prepare to be like, I don't get it. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how this is done.
ZHAO MING Zhao Ming. That's one word, and then Wu, WU. Just unbelievable, unbelievable, and really just an incredible. He would paint alongside us all the time, and like it was just, man, it was pretty wild.
He used to always tell me. He used to always tell me my stuff was too illustration looking. And
I've never heard him say that, which is wild, because like, so would he say it in passing?
He would just kind of, he would like come up, and I'd have a portrait, and it was probably getting like a little too tight, like around the ear, or like I was rendering the hair out, like, you know, hair by hair or something.
Yeah.
And he would he would sort of like gesture up. He would like stop, like tap on my shoulder, and like gesture up to the area that he thought was looking that way, and then he would go, to illustration. And then I would be like, oh, okay.
What was the other saying that he had? It was like three form,
5 values. He was able to whittle everything down to just like a few words, and
yeah,
it was brilliant stuff though too. I mean, I think Ray and I both use all that stuff to this day.
Oh my god!
You know, you got to know your 3 planes, the 3 forms that you can see of any form, and then you have to treat that form with 5 values, and it's just such a simple way to achieve an image.
And you know what? As more in line to how 19th century artists thought about form, which is pretty wild to even think about. The more I read about that stuff, the more like what Zhao Ming was saying was like right on points.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we thought he was coming out of left field, like really overly simplified. Like it can't be that simple, but that's literally how all of these painters talked. When it comes to form, like Harold Speed, Solomon J. Solomon, and Sargent, and just that training. And he was, he trained in the Chinese Academy, which pretty much was frozen in time. It was just a replica of the Russian Academy, and so he got that training that we thought was quote unquote lost, but really it was existent. It just not in the States though. At that time, I mean, it was sort of kind of coming back for sure, but.
Well, do you remember that story he told us about? Like, so he went to that academy, that just crazy academy, one you just mentioned. He said like I don't know if I remember all the details on this, and maybe you remember more, but he said like his final project was, it was like the last year of the school, was they just drove them out, like the whole class, they just drove them out into the countryside and said, we'll be back in 6 months or 9 months or something, and you need to have a body of work. And they didn't have anything. They didn't have jobs. They had to go get work so that they could pay for the supplies they needed. It was just like, go be an artist, and we'll see you soon.
Oh, lost my palette. Oh my god, that's so funny.
I don't know if you remember that, but I mean, maybe I'm getting the details wrong, but
you might have enacted
because he was talking about how intense school was for him, and how it was almost like he was saying like, you guys have it easy because we're at like 8 hour, what were we at, 6 hour long studio classes where we're painting the model, and he was like, we would do this every day on one pose for a whole semester. So it's like, I mean, we're talking well over 80 hours on a piece. And then he was talking about like Mian Situ, who went to the military art academy, and there was just some pretty intense stories of like training as an artist in China.
Yeah, and we all were like, meanwhile we were having our cappuccinos and like bagel and cream cheeses, and we're like, what?
Yeah, we're coming back from getting bagels down the street. We're like, yeah, we're here just this week. Insane times.
Indeed, man.
Here it comes.
Oh, what's up?
Okay.
Oh, we're getting some assistance. I'm doing something wrong.
You're doing something wrong. No, it's okay. Hey Ray, can you monologue for a little bit, bud?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Well, my palette just fell over, so.
Yeah, tell me about that.
It was fun. I don't know what happened. I think I was just we were invoking Zhao Ming's name, and so I think.
Is it my audio?
We're not happy.
I think that your volume affects how Ray comes in. So
oh, really?
Just feeling a little soft. I'll go listen to him again.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You guys are doing great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. So inertial reference points. Your palette became an inertial reference point really quickly, and appeared to fall down to the Earth, where in reality, the Earth was curving space-time, and it was traveling in a straight line. All right, moving on.
That is true. I keep forgetting about that.
Everyone forgets.
So Tyler, who knocked my palette down then? Huh?
I'm gonna have to say probably Neil deGrasse Tyson, or
you get him on the stream right now.
Yeah, get him on this stream.
So yeah, so he had told us about like how they all like had to get into a house, right? And it was like in the middle. It was winter.
Yeah, yeah.
Or no, it like they stayed throughout the winter, and the winter was horrible, and they like all had to pitch in, and they had like a coal stove or something like that. I don't know.
It was a little bit of like I had to walk to school uphill both ways in the snow kind of thing.
Yeah, on steroids. I mean, like, geez, But
still, I was impressed because, I mean, he was coming at us with like, he would say like, well, I painted in 20 years in acrylic. For 20 years in acrylic. And I was like, what? And he showed his acrylic paintings, and they look like oil paintings. And then he's like, and then about 16 years ago, I switched over to oils. And I'm like, what are you, 100 years old? Because he doesn't look 100 years old. He looked like he was 15. It is crazy.
Yeah, he was awesome. He still is. But the more I think I learned, the more I realize how much of the new stuff that I learned is basically stuff that is directly connected to what he was saying to me, you know?
Yeah.
Like the idea of like, he would always say, Raymond, consider form. And then he would like draw a circle, you know, talking about light hierarchy on a form, you know, where not everything's the same value of light, not everything's the same value of shadow, like heavy stuff.
But so simple. Like he was so good at reducing it down. Yeah. Oh, we have a question.
We do. It's from Evacuate. Speaking experiences in an art, is there a point you remember actually feeling like a professional artist, or do artists also experience imposter syndrome?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I even to this day, I think I do. Kate often has to check me when I feel like I have imposter syndrome.
This is true.
But yeah, I don't think that goes away. Sometimes I will be struggling with an image and I'm like, what am I doing? I've forgotten how to paint. And I'll look at my portfolio and I'll be like, I don't even remember doing those. I don't know how I did them. And it's just, I think it's just having like a creative block or something.
Yeah, that never happens to me at all. So it just sounds like you didn't have your, Frosted Flakes in the morning. Okay. Being grumpy.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. Okay. F in the chat if you think Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a disgusting cereal.
F here. F right now.
I mean, like,
it's horrific.
Did I tell you my Cinnamon Toast Crunch story?
That you had it and it was delicious?
No. So my mother would never let us, watch the commercials as a kid, and they were animated. They were beautiful. I'm like, yeah, I want some of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's flying all over the place, right?
It's probably going to taste as good as it looks.
Right. And so I'm talking, every time we'd go to the supermarket, I'd be like, Mom, please, it's just what I want. It's like, and my mother was like, it has too much sugar. I'm not buying that.
I can see your mom saying this. I can see your mom saying this.
And so one day we were at Six Flags Great Adventure, the amusement park, and I was a kid. And at the time, they had this like distributor come out, and they were handing out free boxes of cereal from General Mills. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the night, we were leaving because we stayed there the whole day, and then we left. They were like still giving out these cereals. And the people, were trying to unload this stuff. They didn't want to take it back home with them. So they were saying, they went up to my dad, like inquired about it. And he was like, if you just come up, we'll give you 4 of them. And just keep. And so we stood online. He got all the kids. It was like me, my brother, my Uncle Pete, and his two kids. And so we all like lined up, and we would go up and then grab the cereals. We'd pick the cereal we want, and would then, once we were done, we'd get back online and then come in and then grab 4 more cereals. I mean, like, we cleaned up. We had like a year's worth of cereal at the end of the thing. It was literally, and one of the options was Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And without telling my mother, I was like, yeah, I'll have 2 Frosted Flakes, Honey Nut Cheerios, and like I leaned in. I'm like, can I get one of those Cinnamon Toast Crunches?
Yeah, because you knew how good it was going to be.
Right. And so my mother never knew, because it was under a pile of all this stuff. I was like, I'll help put it back, Mom. It was like, okay, no problem, And I like hid it in the cupboard. And the next morning, I got up extra early. This is a true story, for school. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to let my mother see this. I'm not going to let my mother see this. And I put the Cinnamon Toast Crunch in the bowl. I emptied out. It came in like little boxes, the little sample boxes. So that's why they were giving 4 of them out. And I poured the milk in, and I was like, you're gonna remember this day, Ray, where you got to experience probably one of the greatest cereals ever. And I took one bite, and it was like all of the things, like it was horrendous. And I was like, it was like licking just a metric ton of sugar, right? And you could just feel your teeth dying just from sipping the milk, right? And so I threw it out. I had one bite and I threw it out. And I thought to myself, I should have listened. It was like the first time that I was like, maybe my parents have my best interest.
What a waste. This, maybe I don't believe this story, actually, to be honest. I think you're just telling this now.
Okay.
To make me feel bad about liking Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you for your safety.
Well, look, I only have a box a day, so it's not a big deal.
I could quit anytime I want.
And yeah, I'll stop whenever I want to.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So I mean, you're wrong about that. So let's sum up. Let's review your story that you just told.
It's like, what was it? Jonathan Frank's show, the one with the.
Oh yeah, the Unsolved Mysteries, or no?
Was it? No,
it was Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Was it Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Yeah, Believe It or Not. And I don't believe it, to be honest. If I had to do a book report on this, I think it's nonsense. You would have loved it as a kid.
No, the only true cinnamon cereal, and I think even Tyler will agree to this, is Cinnamon Life.
It's true. It is superior.
What is that? Is that like a local brand, or?
No, Life is all over the place.
Oh, Life cereal.
Yeah, Life cereal, but the cinnamon variety. Yeah.
Oh, I've never had the cinnamon variety.
I mean, Life Basic is also superior to everything, but Life Cinnamon, we were taste testing it, and I was eating my Life Cinnamon. Tyler was eating a stupid Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I was like, give me a bite of that. And I took a bite. I was like, I had to eat some Life Cinnamon in order to wash the taste of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch out of my mouth. And then
this is accurate. She was really dramatic about it.
Where do you go? Cereal?
Excuse me. I was exactly as dramatic as I needed to be.
It's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Tyler. Okay.
What is the chat? I haven't seen the chat. What does everyone think? What do they say?
So far, listen, Ray is Southspire wants to know how to kick Ray out of the Zoom call.
Right. Yeah, hold on. I think I have that ability.
But Aaron Rufino brings up a great point. Captain Crunch, if you like punishment, why did Captain Crunch hurt so bad?
I don't know, like fiber? Was it fiberglass or?
Yeah, I think it might have been. It cut the roof of everyone's mouth, right? Like this is a universal experience.
Not me.
You don't know how they make kids in Queens, okay? They don't get the roof of their mouth cut.
Here's a real question from Kepron. Hey guys, follow-up info on the fine art versus illustration discussion. The difference is scale. When I was getting my bachelor in painting and drawing, you couldn't turn in anything smaller than like 24 by 36. Not really a question, but interesting follow-up from Kepron. Thank you. But we do have another one from Jacob a Sweet.
Hey, Jacob. I did Jacob.
Ray.
Jacob's a good guy.
Yeah, well, he's got a question for Ray, Tyler. So
Jacob, come on, man. What about our history?
Ray, I've been.
Well, you had to go and say that Cinnamon Toast Crunch was an incredible cereal. You lost half the audience there.
It's true. It's true. Sometimes.
So direct all the questions to me, Kate. So don't worry about it. We'll act like Tyler's not here.
Can do. Always have. Ray, I have been looking into the works of Morgan Weisling.
Yeah.
I'm saying that right. And I love his color variation inside his forms. I noticed similarities in your work as well. Any merit to this observation?
I've never heard of Morgan Weisling. I don't think he's like an incredible artist, and so I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow, never heard of him, and you don't think he's an incredible artist. That's a hell of a statement.
You just gotta throw him right out.
No, yeah. So things started to. I credit Morgan Weisling. Like I watched a video of him painting, and it was the first time that painting made sense to me. The way he comes from the tree of the Frank Riley tree of drawing and painting, and because his teacher was Frank Riley's student. Oh my God, why am I blanking on this? I don't know if anyone can help me.
I can't believe it, right? You usually remember all this shit.
Dude,
come on.
Dang it.
This is the first, folks. You're seeing it here today,
I think,
live on the air.
I want to say Fred Fixler. Yeah, it is Fred Fixler. I don't know why I'm second guessing myself.
I mean, I think the chat knows this by now. I usually rely on Ray for anything, and I'll just be like, I don't remember this artist's name, man. Do you? I mean, he did that one painting with like the lady, and she's kind of leaned over, and Ray will know immediately who it was, and when they painted it, and all of their history. It's really impressive. So he's always been my go-to when it comes to this. When it comes to art
history. Are you asking me a question like the rest of the? You're gonna have to get in line.
Sorry, I can hold off on that one.
Yeah, I gotta answer Jacob's question first.
Answer Jacob's first. I'll hold off.
Well, we might not. We might have to push you back to next show.
I get it.
So Jacob,
okay.
Yeah. So, they had that tiling. It's called tiling, and Jeff Watts also is a big proponent of it. If you've seen his stuff, and,
Jacob, I think Jacob's familiar with Jeff because when I met Jacob, he was at the Watts boot camp.
Oh no way!
Diego,
okay,
so.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I think this is the same Jacob, right? Right? In the chat. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah. So, I totally fell in love. It was the video series called Homework. I had borrowed it from a friend who was in a woman who had went actually. I think our friend Neil had it, and I watched it, and it was it made total sense. Like he did a painting from start to finish, and he was putting in small tiles, filling things in and talking about how he painted it. And I was like, oh, this is exactly what I need. This makes total sense to me. It from then on it started to make sense of then our teacher Bill Mon would call it dabs of paint, placing it in dabs. And if you want larger strokes, you just use a larger brush.
I remember that. Yeah, remember that Bill was talking about using his reference, and he was he leaned in really close with all of us. He's like, I just take a photo, and then I go to the Photoshop filters, and there's one called paint dabs, and they just kind of turned, and it's just a blank. Everyone was like, what? Is he serious?
Dude, and you know what? Ever since then, I've been speaking the gospel of paint dabs.
Yeah.
To this day.
I use it all the time because it kind of pulls all the little minute details and color aberrations that you're going to have with a photograph, and erases all that, so you don't have to worry about it. And then you're just looking at weird forms and plane shifts and value shifts.
Yeah. It clarifies the planes. It's great.
Paint dabs, everybody.
Who would have thought from Bill?
Yes.
Here's a question. I don't want a 10-minute pontification on this. All I need is one or two words from each of you. This is a question. This is a question from Aaron Ruffino.
Okay. Hey, Aaron.
What color oil paint is most tempting to eat?
Well, it's going to be one of the lead-based ones because they're sweet.
Tyler. I just said.
I knew it.
I don't need a thesis.
I'll say real quick. Don't ever do this, but Naples yellow.
Naples yellow. I want to eat Naples yellow.
It's gonna be so sweet, delicious, and it'll kill you. So
maybe I want something a little stiffer. So a Kremlin's white.
Oh,
yeah.
Never even heard of that.
You will
Incredible.
survive.
You will survive if you eat Kremlin's white, but you will die if you eat turd yellow.
A certain amount of Naples yellow will kill you.
No, you will die if you eat Kremlin's white.
Don't eat oil paint, folks. Hey, real question from Nick DeLuca 96. Hey, Nick.
Nick.
Who would you guys consider the most underrated illustrator of the 20th century?
Ray Bonilla. Next question.
There is nothing underrated about Ray Bonilla.
I don't know if I agree with what Ray's saying, but
I think he's well rated.
I think he's
effectively
rated.
He's appropriately rated.
He's appropriately rated. We're gonna leave him right there. He's very comfortable.
Well, this is a good question.
What do you think?
Oh, I'm gonna think on this.
You know, I gotta go with the comic, a comic guy or something like that.
Well, like of the 20th century.
Well, it's not that far of a. It's not that long, not large of a time snippet.
Yeah,
it's only a century. It's only 100 years. What could happen in 100 years?
Not much, really. Especially in the 20th century.
We're already 20% of the way through the 21st century. Let's focus on this.
What do I don't think you know, there were so many good illustrators. I think like I think I'm gonna go comics, just because I don't think those illustrators get enough love. Like we're talking like Milton Caniff, or like Al. I think Al Williamson is one of my favorite comic book illustrators.
Oh yeah, I've got a bunch of Al Williamson books that John Fleskis was ever so kind to give to me.
Whoa!
Because he's been, I don't know if you guys have checked it out, but Flesk Publishing has been doing some incredible collections of Al Williamson stuff, and John knows him personally. He's got a lot of great stories about him.
That's awesome, man. When did he pass away? It was like it was like a couple years back.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so
Williamson, he had some good stories when last time I was hanging out with John.
He's a Portuguese. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Bet you John didn't tell you that.
No, dude, I had no idea. And
I think he might
to sort of because I don't want to offend any more regions of the world like I've done with Scotland. I love the Portuguese. Great people. Love them.
Oh my God. Incredible. Well, of course that was a lie. I don't know. I maybe Al Williamson. There's a bunch of like 50s illustrators like that are just absolutely incredible. A lot of the pulp illustrators, you know, like oh my God. I'm just trying to think. There's so many niches these days too, right? So it's like he's not, you know, they're not under appreciated. They got an entire fan club, you know.
Yeah, it's because like I would say like Catherine Jeffrey Jones would be considered underrated, and she was amazing.
But okay, so Catherine's work legendary, and in the circles that I sometimes I travel in, you know, Catherine's work is looked at as like godlike and comes up all the time.
Yeah, so it's all about the circles, really.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess underappreciated to whom, right? I mean, like, and there's so many French illustrators that were incredible. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, some of those French.
Like
comics.
I'm spiraling, man. Yeah, I know. It's like
I think J.C. Leindecker's brother is kind of underrated.
Yeah, Frank.
Exceptionally good.
Yeah. I mean, you have like that. You have oh my God. This is Frank Benson, not Frank. Is it Frank? Not Frank Benson.
Frank Brangwyn, man. Frank
Brangwyn's another one. Nope.
If anybody is, in the after times when you can go places and do things, if you're ever in San Francisco, you go to the Opera House right near the
Herbst Theater.
Yeah, Herbst Theater, right next to the Opera House, which is right across the street from City Hall. The Herbst Theater has the most incredible murals, all done by Frank Brangwyn. And Ray used his charm to basically get us in with just the two of us and like the guy who was the curator of the place.
Who was basically the facilities guy, and he was just right.
Well, and he was like, he took care of like the firearms in the museum.
The firearms, right? Yeah.
So Ray got us in there by just kind of, I don't know, I forget what you said, but it worked. And it's just me and Ray and this guy walking around this massive theater and these gigantic, I don't know, 50-foot tall murals all over the walls.
Huge.
Go check that out if you get a chance. Really worth it if you can get in the building.
I mean, and we got up super close to them. I mean, unfettered access to it. It was a really nice day. And then we went and saw Indiana Jones and Kingdom of Crystal Skull. And
you know what? Life's about ups and downs, and occasionally you have to intentionally go to see a movie called Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Should we talk about that movie for a little bit?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if the chat wants to hear it, but
no, I just don't think there's no reason why they should have made that movie.
Yeah, I agree. They ended it perfectly with the best of the Indiana Jones movies.
You know, that's interesting that you say that.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. It's the best.
Well, because I think that's arguable. I think it's the best.
Oh, okay.
But it's not the most true to form pulp movie like it was. You know, like the first one was probably the most Saturday morning serial type of. It's the most purest version of the movie. I don't know.
Here's why I split hairs, and feel free to say I'm insane or whatever, but the difference between Raiders and Last Crusade is that Indiana Jones actually matters in The Last Crusade. His actions matter. But in Raiders, he doesn't even need to be in the movie. Because you could completely remove him and all of the same things would happen. They'd get the Ark, it'd open up, spoilers everybody, kills all the Nazis, and all that would still happen. Yeah,
but you wouldn't be there as the audience member,
Oh no, I agree.
Died Indiana Jones.
That's why
nothing on cellulite.
But don't get me wrong, I love the movie. It just it loses points only on those grounds. Otherwise, it's a perfect movie. Lawrence Kasdan, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas.
It's not was it cellulite? No, cellulose.
Cellulose, yeah.
Cellulose.
Cellulite's something else. I'm not sure what. Okay, so I got some what does the chat think? What do you guys think? Raiders or Last Crusade? Don't even bring up Temple of Doom. Don't even think about it. Right? Something's frozen. Are you still frozen?
Yeah. No, I don't know what to say.
Hey,
oh, yeah.
Frozen.
No, I'm good.
Hey, look good to me. Raiders. Oh, Raiders. Okay. Last Crusade. Oh,
oh wait. I think we
got stuff going on here.
Hold on. Let me see. My painting video might be frozen for some reason.
Well, jeez. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to run a professional show here. No, that's okay. We all got technical difficulties. Well, let me know if you like reset it or something. I'll check and make sure it doesn't fall out of the window. But so what do we got? It looks like we got a lot of Last Crusaders going here. So anyways, I off the topic of Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. We'll wait for Ray to. Oh, Ray, I think you're going now. It's not frozen anymore.
Okay. Let me get this red thing out.
Yeah, that's right. Stabby Rogue Games. I am adding some weird, freaky arm shapes into this because I don't know. It just needs something else. It just needs a little something else. And I think it breaks up the composition a little better. But we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
There it is. Okay.
You weren't a fan.
So, my palette's falling over.
Things are going down in Buffalo
video's
tonight,
freezing.
Folks.
I haven't said anything wrong. You're the one that keeps enacting like yelling at the Portuguese and the Scottish.
I said the Portuguese are great.
And
I said
I'm paying for your sins.
That's because yeah, I mean, it's because like you're on that part of the globe, and it's fine. It's fine.
Let's see. Yeah, Gremlins. Yeah, Everquay says Gremlins at Bonilla's. Yeah, I'm thinking so. It is. Was it after you don't feed somebody fed? That was it after 9. You're not supposed to feed
After
them?
midnight, man. After
Midnight. My bad. God, my bad. I just lost my partial loss of my 80s card.
You could turn in your card. You could just mail it to me. I'll tear it up, dispose of it.
I thought I should say that I think that Temple of Doom is more pulpier than, could be arguably, it's as pulpy, if not more pulpier than Raiders.
I agree. I'm saying this live on the air, everybody. I don't hate Temple of Doom. In fact, I respect Temple of Doom way more than I do Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, because Temple of Doom is, they actually took risks to try and do something a little crazy. Maybe it didn't work, but they went crazy, and it was fun.
I liked it, but that was the only VHS that was around out of the 3 of them in my house.
Right, you had Batman, 1989 Batman. And what else did you have?
Transformers movie.
Oh yeah, with Weird Al Yankovic music.
Yeah. And I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Oh man, gotta have that. I don't even remember what my first VHS was. It was probably,
I know what it was.
What was it?
Godzilla versus
Megalon.
Megalon.
No, that wasn't my first, because that was, we had a few more before that, because that was in '88 that I got that as a birthday present.
Was it 88 or 87?
It might have been 88 or 87. I'm not sure.
I thought it was Happy Birthday, Tyler, 1987.
Maybe it was 87. I know I had VHS before that. I think it was the original black box Star Wars VHS set.
Wow.
That came out like right after Jedi came out.
Oh, yes. The one that's the unedited one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it was, so it was like, it's black, and it has like the original posters, like the the Jedi one by our one of our favorite artists.
Yeah, Kazuhiko Sano.
Kazuhiko Sano, who actually, to go back to that previous question, I'd say he's one of the most underrated illustrators of the 20th century. But yeah, it had those. It had like those original paintings, and then the rest of the case was black.
Right, with
and then
Vader's head on the outside, right?
Yeah, so it was well before. It was well before the '95 edition that had all like the really big zoomed in images, the where they cleaned up the negative, which I have that box set as well, because I really like the versions before they did any special edition stuff.
I have both. I have that black box version and the special edition one, because Oh
yeah, no, I had the special edition for sure. I had to go and find on eBay that black box '95 edition.
Wow, my grandmother had it.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't know if you remember this, but it has like a little veiled thread on the back of it where it's like, this is the last version of these films that you're ever going to see.
Oh, yes. Because in the beginning of one of them, they were talking about how like the negative was damaged and they were cleaning it up, right? They had to do some restoration, and I was like, all right, we just want to preserve these films.
And they were old and damaged, and then I guess the word is that they somehow destroyed the originals when they made the '97 special editions, which is insanity. No one destroys an original.
What?
No one destroys an original negative. So I don't know if I believe that.
What? No, isn't it? Wasn't it in the Library of Congress by that point, or?
Well, this is my thing. I remember when they got into the Library of Congress, and it was after '97 special edition. So I don't know if the Library of Congress would accept an altered version of the film.
Right.
But maybe they would. I don't know.
Or maybe maybe there is, according to the Library of Congress, there is no 70 1970 was 77, 74.
Yeah, 77.
77 Star Wars, and there's no, there's no 80. So 82 was
80 was
80
and
was
then 83 for
83,
Jedi.
right? Yeah, so like maybe there just doesn't exist one. I don't know.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Would not accept an altered version.
There we go. Okay.
Oh wow. Well, that's crap because I have it. I have the despecialized edition, which apparently took like a crew of people to reconstruct from various negatives.
Well, so what? Read what Nick had said. So library would not accept the altered version, and Lucas would not give them the original.
Right, the original negative. Yeah. Wow.
In Stabby Road Games, appropriately says in Doc Brown's voice, "It's been erased from existence."
Oh, what a shame. Can you imagine if somehow that, because Lucas claims this, that they just somehow destroyed the original negative?
Yeah, why bother?
What a loss to humanity that would be.
I don't know, man. There's such archivists over there. Like the fact that I just don't buy it because they're so good about. They have entire archive people running their archives. Before all of that stuff got. I just don't buy it. But hey, man, it's his deal, and people didn't believe in him to begin with, and it was destined to fail, and it didn't. So,
and I like Lucas. I got my own views on it. I think he changed film history.
Yeah.
But I just don't believe that anyone would destroy a negative like that in their right mind.
It's interesting. Like you have artists that go back and change their work. Like Frazetta was infamous for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Lucas. People like Ridley Scott and like.
Well, even Lucas gave Ted Turner grief for colorizing old films. So.
Right. Which I remember on TV when I saw like March of the Wooden Soldiers and all the Laurel and Hardy stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like now in color, but it just looked like just somebody had spray painted green. Right?
They almost literally did just kind of sprayed in color.
Oh God, not great. But yeah, it's tough, man. That's it's like, hey, it's his work, right? I mean,
yeah, I get the arguments, like, and it's.
But
I think my biggest the reason I bounced off it so hard was that like I just wanted to have I still wanted the original version to be available,
right?
And it wasn't. So, like I enjoyed when, when the studio put out like the Blade Runner, Super Edition that had like 5 different versions. So it's like okay, so now everybody who has a favorite, can do that. Like they get a favorite.
Yeah, because I know there are people that like how it ties into the prequels. I know they're out there. I mean,
yeah, just like there are people out there that like the original theatrical version of Blade Runner.
And there are people out there that eat Naples yellow daily.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any today, but
they're all the same people.
Don't eat Naples yellow, everyone. It was a joke. It was a joke. We got to put a disclaimer on here.
Don't eat anything.
Never eat any paint, especially oil paint.
Just don't eat anything. Don't eat any artist materials. Okay?
Don't eat anything. Don't eat, everyone.
Don't eat Naples yellow. Don't eat Kremnitz white. And whatever you do, please don't eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Okay.
Well, great. Now we're never getting them as a sponsor. Yeah. Great.
Oh God. So Aaron said, "Do you guys ever get the urge to redo your old works?" I'm going to answer this saying like there are times that I do, like there's a painting on my stairwell that I would love to redo, but it's always like, yeah, I look at the piece and I'm like, I would just do a completely new piece and I might as well just spend my time doing that. So I've never really had the urge to really fix up pieces, like Frazetta, I mean, was like notorious for that.
Yeah.
It's just like stealing like, just constantly switching out his poses on his paintings. That one Conan, it was the Destroyer cover where he like, there are like 3 or 4 versions of it.
This is, I mean, I got to say, Aaron, really wonderful question, because I think this plays perfectly into what we were just talking about with Lucas. That's probably what's going on, right? It's never perfect like any piece any of us have worked on has never been perfect. And you either leave it or you keep fussing with it forever. And maybe that's the case, when you see Frazetta painting on like that mermaid piece,
right.
When he only had like the use of his left hand, he's just working on it forever. It's like, you painted this thing in the 70s, man. It's great. Just leave it. But I see it. I can see it. I can see getting really obsessed and not. We all have that obsession as artists. So you don't just want to leave something if it's not perfect. But it's something I tell students all the time. Like you have to leave them because you need to make more stuff.
Right.
You got to keep going.
And artistically speaking, like it was something that Chico, told me one time. Alberto Ray, another really good friend of mine, great artist, had said, like, because I asked him about that one time, and he was like, "What are your thoughts on it?" He goes, "I don't go over old pieces. I have no urge to it, because I look at that and I was like, that was a completely different person that did that, and I'm a completely different artist." And it's like, that's the way I feel about that. I could totally, connect with that sentiment, because you were a different person. Like, I look at my old stuff, I'm like, I was into different things. I thought of things differently. It's just, I'm just a different person. That was a record of it. And that in itself is like I view it as a nice thing. Like, oh, okay, this is when I thought this. And
or like when you cared about a certain detail or something.
Right. And I'm sure that, like, Frazetta was concerned with his legacy. And also just like, it just drove him nuts. But, at the same time, like, it's like you were saying, it's in the 70s. It's like you're covering up the 1970s Frazetta.
On the original.
On the original. Right.
Yeah, I guess it's just something like, I don't know, it's just something I wouldn't do. And I can't say that I won't do it. There's no way I know whether I'm going to
totally
in that state of mind, like when I'm as old as Frazetta was when he was doing that, I might be like, yeah, I want to fix some of these old paintings that had always bugged me. I might as well.
Right. And, it's just like, who are you to tell people, that they can't do it? I mean, you can do whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah, this kind of goes.
It's just sad when you lose one of the versions that you had connections to.
Yeah. To lose it forever is never fun.
Right. Like that. Oh my God! Remember the edit they did with New Hope? You had texted me, and they're like, they're still changing things, Ray.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was like they moved like the rock. They put more rocks.
They did. It was the
in front of R2D2, and
I want to say they did a digital version. It was like only digital. I want to say it was like 2013 or 2012 or something.
Yeah.
And they put more rocks in front of R2 while he's hiding in New Hope. Like
they changed.
Like he moved rocks in front of himself, or they didn't even have arms.
Yeah, there'd be no way. Right. That's the first thing you pointed out. Like, there's literally no way for R2D2 to actually get out of that little nook that he had found himself in. Like,
it
doesn't make any sense.
They had like Ewoks blinking, I think, in that particular one. It's like, what are these weird nitpicky things that have to be fixed? Who cares? Like,
do they
why
blink
is that
in the
something?
Mandalorian?
I don't know. Are there Ewoks in Mandalorian?
Oh no, the Ewoks blinking. Oh, I thought you meant the Jawas.
Oh, the Jawas. No, I don't. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know. It's sort of weird, nitpicky things that don't make any sense to dedicate time and energy to, unless they're just like trying to like endlessly create Easter eggs for the obsessed fans like myself to find.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, so Dr. Mondo's got like a nice way of putting it, like, in this question. He said, where is the balance between personally feeling a piece is perfect versus done?
Yeah. I mean, that's a hard question to answer, but what do you think, Gray? I mean, mine's done when I don't have any more time to work on it, and the deadline.
Yeah, I think
arrived.
I think the deadlines are a very convenient way of deciding that for you. I think, like, And I think also if it's, there's this Alex Ross quote that he said, like somebody asked him that about like, okay, what when do you know it's done, and he had said that like, I know when it's done when I just run out of things that really bother me, and like where he just runs out of like things to fix, and he's like, all right, I just fixed everything, so I'm gonna move on to the next thing, and you just kind of don't look back in a sense. And like, I think if a piece is satisfied, if I've given it my best effort at the time, and I can't see any glaring things wrong with it, besides like a short of like compositional like retooling of everything, then I'm just gonna move on to another piece, but I'm usually fed up with like the piece by that point, and I got to move on because I've got to produce however many more pieces for a show, or like galleries are expecting things, and so on and so forth. So it's not it's such a hard question. Nobody has an answer because every answer is specific to the artist, I guess. We can generalize it, but really it's a really specific thing, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, that always tends to be, I guess, our answers on a lot of things on this show, but it's true. Like it is super relative, right?
Our answer is like, I don't know. It depends, right? No.
Yeah. I mean, I think in this particular question, and maybe with a lot of questions too, is we can only really say how we deal with it, and we can't speak for anyone else. This kind of goes back. Ray and I were talking about something before the stream about like there's some people out there. I think we were specifically talking about curator people working at museums that are essentially, some of them are telling artists like how they need to be painting, what their process needs to be.
Oh, conservators, yeah.
Conservatives, yeah. And we get it, they're coming from their perspective, but if you get a good image, who cares if you broke all those rules?
Yeah, we're talking about more from like a material standpoint. Use this paint, don't use that paint. Got paint like this. Paint one layer, don't use too many layers. Cracking this, warping that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is important to know just at a general basic thing, so that the stuff doesn't fall apart as you're making it. But there's like a minutia, of things, It's kind of like gear, people who are really into like gear and music, like it's like,
right.
Don't use those strings. You'll never make a good song with that. Meanwhile, you could make songs with pretty much anything.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, it's up to everyone in their own, I guess, art journey to figure out how to create stuff.
And I think that like it's just, like we're talking about also like like I'm saying, like I am Puddlegum says, I mean, also there's a difference between being a master of the rules and letting the rules master you. It's like, once you know the fundamentals, the reason why you know fundamentals and quote unquote rules is so that you know how to break the rules, right? I mean, that's really what it boils down to. And
right.
you're just building a vocabulary so that you can eloquently say something. And so if you don't, and that vocabulary is built knowing, the foundations of art, shape, value, color.
I think that's a great way to describe that. Maybe a lot of people don't understand when people say that, like you got to learn the rules to break them.
Yeah. So like, so I can break my color rules here by play, but I can cater to it. I can break it for a reason and make that breaking a purposeful one, and make me, and as a result, make me better at maybe a rule breaker.
Well, yeah, and like the rules, when we're talking about the rules, it's art's visual, so these rules are the rules of perception. So
right,
you're learning how people perceive images, and then you're manipulating those rules to get what you want, because these images are all illusions; they're not real
things.
Exactly. So it is kind of like an illusionist who's also messing with perception. With card tricks and various tricks. You're learning how people see. They're learning how people perceive like actions and movement, and then you're beginning to manipulate those things for your end. Tricking people. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, there's not a question yet. I just wanted to apologize. I've been AFK for 20 minutes. So if your question got missed, spam it in the chat again. Oh, Ray's been picking him up? Fine. Nobody even needs me around here.
Yeah, we didn't even know you were gone.
Come back.
No, we missed you greatly. Everyone was worried. I saw people wondering where you were.
You didn't say anything.
Me? No, I was like, I'm going to just leave it. I'm going to leave the suspense.
Oh God. Yeah, it's really interesting. I think like on the kind of the perfection and also rule breaking, and it's also, I remember as an artist, but when we first came to grad school, I thought I knew a lot more, a lot about art making, and I realized how much I didn't know when we did something as simple as like a still life painting or a simple head drawing.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, oh my God, I thought things like still life painting were pedestrian, why do I need to do that? I've done that.
What a waste
I
of
do
time.
like figures. What a waste of time, man. I don't want to do that stuff.
Well, you were right.
Yeah. I didn't know shit when I got to art school. I thought I knew stuff. And like I think I've told a lot of people this. I learned more in the first week at the Academy of Art than I had learned in my entire life.
Yeah. It was eye-opening for sure.
I was making a dig about still lifes because that's like half of what Ray does, and they're just beautiful. So that was specifically an insult for Ray, not to any still life painters out there. You're doing great.
You don't see a still life here? I don't do them.
Ray doesn't
People
do
on LiveEBrush don't know I do them.
He does still real observations.
Sapphire Heart has a question. I had an art and movies question for you, gents. I've seen 2 films set in contemporary art scenes, Art School Confidential and a horror film, Velvet Buzzsaw. Do you have thoughts on how they show the art world? Assuming you've seen it.
I haven't seen those.
I seen Art School Confidential. Are you going to see Art School Confidential, Tyler?
Maybe, but you can spoil it if you're worried about spoilers.
Yeah, not all artists are like serial killers. Not the best ones are, but and for those of you who are, so that's not really that true. It might be. Actually, that's probably the only true thing about it. But
you both do have like the charming facade of a serial killer, but I don't think either of you have ever murdered anyone yet.
Not yet.
No.
I honestly, I haven't seen the movie, but
They're
almost immediately before I even see it, I'm going to say I probably don't like how Hollywood depicts artists, because Hollywood is, the way they depict artists is so bananas most of the time.
Yeah, but this is it's also Art School Confidential is like a comedy, so they're making fun of. Yeah, I don't know about the other one, but it wasn't like our. So Art School Confidential more reflected our undergrad experience, Tyler, rather than the grad school experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, with like John Malkovich is incredible. He's
okay.
incredible.
I'm going to have to check it out. It sounds really good. I'm so used to other, Hollywood just does it so often. Where like, it's always like this tortured artist who like, they like paint furiously, and it's just scribbles, and and they do it really spontaneously, and then like the rest of their life is just smoking and hanging out and having a good time. This is no big deal.
Developing a French accent.
Yeah, and then they become French, and but it's so not how any artist has probably ever worked. Like even and I loved the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. Loved it. But I've seen so much footage of Freddie Mercury, and he was incredibly lucid and like just a normal dude. And they do that Hollywood thing where they kind of paint him as like really aloof and like, oh, it's just like that. Why do they have to do that with creatives? Why are they always really weird when they're just not?
Have you seen The Power of Art, the Simon Shamma stuff?
Yeah. That guy used to bug me too, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it was great. It was very theatrical, but it was like they had the one on Caravaggio, and you see like this, like just this hand scrubbing in this like blank canvas, and he's doing this thing where he's staring at the camera, like staring just past the camera and looking at it as if he's just sort of like moving his arms, and then they like show like this delicately painted, multi-figured allegorical painting, you know, and you're like, nah.
Like vigorously scrubbing, and it's like, and then you look at any Caravaggio painting, and it was super delicate, like he's painting with a scalpel.
Yeah. I don't know about
Aaron Rufino said it maybe in the same one in the artsy doc about Caravaggio. They had an actor put a plastic bag over his head and stab the canvas with a knife. Does this ring any bells?
Oh, I don't remember that. I don't know if they had plastic bags in Caravaggio's day. But it sounds like
art,
something they would do.
Tyler.
Oh my God! I don't know. I'm gonna have to go watch that. I don't know.
In that same series, they had I think they had a section of it on Van Gogh in that same series, Van Gogh or.
Oh my God!
And I think it was Andy Serkis playing him.
Yeah. All the great actors.
Andy Serkis as Van Gogh.
Yeah, he was great.
What?
Yeah.
But it's this like incredibly tortured, and maybe it wasn't in Van Gogh's case, but other artists, they just, I don't know, it just doesn't ring true to me. A lot of these artists were just illustrators. They're probably just working on their craft.
Well, so then you know they were tortured. I gotta rewatch the Caravaggio.
Yeah.
We'll boil their balls in oil, right? Remember that? Where he like yells that in the street, and like, and they're like he got arrested, and they're having this trial, and they have like the witnesses, like Italian witnesses, speaking in really like in English accents. And yes, the man Michelangelo di Caravaggio, he said, and I quote, "We'll boil their balls in oil," and that's what he said.
It was in the past, right? They had to have British accents.
But it's crazy that they had like the actual transcripts from that trial, you know, which is
right.
And then, you know,
if anyone in the chat, if you don't know much about the insane madman that was Caravaggio, please look him up. The dude was a fencer and a murderer.
We don't know that.
Just a crazy man, essentially.
He didn't kill somebody. That person died from running into his blade a couple of times.
That's true. They fell on it.
He died later from wounds.
Well, definitely watch that documentary. But also, if you there's a really great history podcast, Daniele Bolelli's history podcast, and he does
History on Fire, right?
History on Fire.
Daniele Bolelli.
Daniele Bolelli. He has an amazing accent.
He has an incredible voice. He's very like a monotone Italian accent. It is very, very thick, and it's just so musical. Even if all you do is listen to it to fall asleep, it's magical.
Yeah. He has a great series on Caravaggio that's, I don't know, 4 parts or something, but it's just wonderful stuff. Check it out.
He's like he's that dude's insane, and was probably the first, like, he's like the Ridley Scott of his generation, I think.
Yeah, I do that. He was
like the first to use like dramatic light like that. Like no one was doing that, you know, at the time, like to the extent that he was doing like that like light was the literal storyteller, you know.
Yeah. Did I tell you about that show I saw when I was in Amsterdam?
Yeah, was it Caravaggio? What was it?
It was Caravaggio Rembrandt. They were doing a retrospective where because they said, at least the museum was saying at the time, the art community considered Caravaggio the Rembrandt of the South and Rembrandt the Caravaggio of the North.
Oh wow!
Because they were both kind of playing with similar subject matter, which I guess all artists back then were painting stuff for the church. But it was similar subject matter and similar approaches to lighting multi-figure scenes. It was a crazy show. Super cool.
So Aaron Rufino chimed in, says that the doc is Caravaggio. The dramatic one is Caravaggio, The Soul and the Blood.
Nice.
Is the creepy dramatic. I have never seen that. That's
gotta find it.
I think there's something kind of amazing about being, not only are you Caravaggio, but you're also a sword fighter and you also murder people, and yet like you also do these just astonishing paintings. What a person, what a human being that was.
Absolute legend.
Can you beat him? You think you could take him in a sword fight, long sword? What do you think, Tyler?
He's actually a sword fighter. I couldn't even come close.
I think you'd take him.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have you seen Ray? Has he shown you his sword fighting videos? Have you ever seen Tyler's videos?
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's a fast man.
You take out Caravaggio.
I'm
like Caravaggio. You know what? Next stream, if he doesn't show up, we'll know who the winner is.
Yeah,
You win.
exactly. Swords at Dawn, Caravaggio. That's your real name. What if he shows up?
What if he shows up? Dude.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He is a vampire, so he definitely still is alive.
Oh my God.
Like, I heard you were talking and I'm a hero now.
No, he shows up with an English accent.
Yeah, sorry, because he's from the past. Gotta have an English accent.
Yeah. Oh God. I love it.
Aaron Rufino asked a question earlier. Did anyone see the Van Gogh movie with Willem Dafoe? I did not.
No, but
that
I
was recent.
definitely heard it for sure. I don't even know what it was called.
It looked really good nonetheless. But I wanted to see that one and the one about the guy who did the crazy landscapes.
I thought you
English.
said, Turner.
Yeah, Turner. I wanted to see the Turner one as well.
Dude, the Turner one, I saw it. I couldn't get through it.
Oh, great. God,
Yeah.
same
I
old
know.
Hollywood thing again. A mad, obsessed, furious painter.
Ugh. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it.
Have y'all considered that you just haven't gotten to that phase yet?
Yeah, I'm guessing that I guess I just don't have the energy. You know?
We just lack of experience, like we're not to the point. We'll never be considered great artists if we're not like sitting in those movies and like, yeah, right on, my brother.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Yeah.
You be
Gotta
crazy.
get it out. Get the energy out.
You just misunderstood.
I think the only one that was accurate was the Jackson Pollock movie with Ed Harris, showing how he would get incredibly blind drunk and then just splatter paint like a maniac.
Yeah. Well, that's Lee Krasner said the only time he was sober was when he was painting. So he never painted drunk.
Jackson
He
Pollock?
he just drank. He drank all the other times.
Oh, okay. So he was like Hemingway in that way.
Right. Yeah. So that's fun. Yeah.
I've never been a Jackson Pollock fan, to be honest.
Well, it's a classic, that was, talk about a classic tortured soul movie. I mean, that was like, yikes.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Who I'm thinking, well, they don't make movies of like, I don't know. They're not going to make movies of like Dean Cornwell.
Yeah,
Or
so like
maybe,
an artist just quietly painting away, like Norman Rockwell, like the life of Norman Rockwell,
Right.
a 3-hour movie, and it's just like him just scrubbing away at the canvas.
What about Norman Rockwell just getting the work done? What about like a really Hollywoodized Bob Ross story, just like really tortured?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's the trees that only make me happy, not you.
As soon as the camera turns off, he's just a rage.
Yeah.
Why didn't you zoom in when I was painting on those trees?
Oh, so like, so he'd be like one of those like crazy directors.
Yeah.
Like kind of like he's like having
like Jodorowsky.
or like this was his Brian Wilson moment, right? Where he was like, this was his magnum opus.
Yeah.
Dr. Mondo says Bob Ross during the day and The Punisher by night.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
That's how you do it. That would be like
It wasn't the Marines. So
what was that? What was that Sam Rockwell movie where he was a game show host? It was based off a real story. The game show host who was also an assassin for the FBI.
yeah. Oh, what's the name of that? It was super good. Anything
That
with
sounds
Sam Rockwell was good.
incredible.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's based off a real book where a game show host guy was like, it can't be confirmed, but he was like, I was an assassin for the FBI or the CIA. My bad, CIA. But yeah,
Wow.
Confirmed right here, folks.
yeah, confirmed.
Very important question from Aaron Rufino. What actor do you want to portray you in your biopic? And this is going to be a Hollywoodized version of you. So, you know, if you need better jaw lines or, you know, bigger ears in certain
Yeah, way
cases,
bigger
then
ears.
you're gonna need you can consider all that and,
I would
and
add
understand
the biggest
you will
ears.
be portrayed as tortured.
I would like, tortured. I don't know. I was gonna say if it's gonna be an action-packed movie. I don't know. Like the best actor I could think of is like Angela Bassett.
Mm-hmm. That'd be good, man. That'd be good.
She's incredible.
She would
That'd be
crush it as
amazing.
Ray Bonilla.
She would crush it as me.
Yeah. She
You know?
would. She would.
Oh, Avidity says nominates Brad Pitt to play Tyler.
Oh, I was
Brad
thinking.
Pitt.
I was
Brad
thinking,
Pitt, Angela Bassett, and
Nice.
Weird Al Yankovic in.
Wait,
In a Paul Thomas Anderson film.
is Weird Al playing
LiveBrush.
me?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I saved him for you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
LiveBrush.
I was gonna say Jake Lloyd should play me or something. But
Yeah.
we'd have to bring him
Give
out of
that
retirement.
kid a break. Yeah.
Jake Lloyd. He's out of acting, man. You ruined it.
No. We all ruined his life, everyone.
Oh man, what a sad story.
Yeah, it's really sad, man.
Yeah.
You know, well, he shouldn't have taken the job. I'm just saying. I know he's a kid. Shouldn't have taken the job.
The biggest movie ever in your life.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah.
take it.
Didn't want the fame. Don't take a Star Wars role.
That's hard. That's hard.
You know.
I don't know. I don't think anyone in the world, like if somebody was like, hey, we just think you'd be really good at playing Anakin King Skywalker. And how do you turn that down?
I didn't even know he
Well,
had a
first-
middle name. That's pretty cool.
Well, it's been redacted out of the along with the
That's true.
original cut of
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm not at liberty to tell you guys what his middle name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
know.
The Disney said we're not allowed to talk about it. So.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's I'm still I'm actually pretty distracted by the Angela Bassett Brad.
Oh, we all are.
Yeah.
Can it be anyone from
Brad
any
Pitt.
time?
Yeah, Angela
Yeah,
Bassett.
of course.
Did you see her in Tina Turner?
Yeah, I
The-
know. It was good. It was good. And she got the
My-
whole it's hard to even describe, but you know, she was singing Tina Turner's vocals, but she knew how to like make it really look like she was
Yeah.
delivering those kind of vocals. Whereas
Yeah.
like oftentimes in like a biopic movie where they're dubbing over the actor, they're just not really delivering it. She studied the way Tina Turner sang. And
This is
like,
incredible.
it was amazing. Everyone,
That's
check
why
it
I
out.
think she can pull me off. She's the
She
only
could
one.
she will study the way you talk and move. It's gonna be method.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I probably want Mandy Patinkin to play me.
Manny Patinkin.
Yeah,
Where's he from again?
he's Inigo Montoya,
Oh,
and from an amazing show called Criminal Minds.
God, I forgot. Manny. Oh, Manny. I thought you said Mandy.
His name is Mandy.
It's Mandy.
Oh,
His
Is
name's
it?
Mandy. Yeah.
Mandy.
It's very silly.
It's
But
not
really? I
silly.
thought it was
It's
Manny.
true. No, he's Mandy.
Wow. I stand corrected. Well,
I
you know.
when I was younger, my grandmother loved Mandy Patinkin, and she had this hilarious album of just him singing show tunes in like a
What?
really really weird, like like this like WB Frog kind of voice.
What?
It was so weird. Yeah, you gotta look it up. Mandy Patinkin did like a whole album of him
Can you
just
imagine your grandmother
singing.
sitting back and like, that guy's good.
yeah, she's just back, you know, like it's so great. And I'm like, what is this weird, like almost comical? Like, is he making fun of show tunes with this?
That's incredible.
I don't know. What we'll do is we'll find some. We can't play it on YouTube, but we'll play a little bit of it.
It's not. I'm not able to find it. I'm not sure it exists. Yeah, he is a Broadway actor. Of Equate. He definitely has been awarded for being an excellent actor in a musical.
Oh yeah, he's been a part of the theater.
Yeah. He's classic.
Then he sold out and went on The Princess Bride. But okay, anyways.
So I do have actual celebrity doppelgangers for both of you. I think I've told you both. But let me get my shit together here.
Yeah, here it is. It's called Dress Casual.
The LiveBrush story?
The man to be taken like show tunes.
Oh, I thought it was the title of our movie. Wait, so he was like the Richard Cheese of his generation?
It's a WB. That's kind of what it sounds like. That's a little preview of what.
Is he like the Richard Cheese of his generation?
Yeah, I hope so. Anyways, what were we talking about? Forget Man of Deacon.
He sounds great. I'm listening to doodle doo medley when the red robin comes bobbing along.
Yeah. Songs write themselves.
You make it up as you go.
I mean,
my celebrity doppelgangers for y'all are Ray is of course a Lawrence Fishburne, a young Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay.
And Tyler, you are David Harbour. We talked about this.
I am David Harbour.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. I want Lawrence Fishburne from John Wick. That's basically who I've basically.
Not Morpheus?
No. You want to be homeless pigeon Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah. I mean, like, I see my trajectory. Okay, I see it. The outlook's not good, Tyler.
Wait, who am I again?
But I rule New York.
David Harbour with a U.
I don't know who this is. Do I know who this is?
Yeah, he's the sheriff from.
Yeah.
Dr. Mondo said, "I thought it was Manny." ... Hashtag Team Ray.
Yeah, I didn't acknowledge that.
Hey, F in the chat if you thought it was Manny.
Mandela effect. It was Manny.
The Mandela effect.
Manny and the Bernstein Bears.
Okay, so wait, let's go back a step here. You don't want to be Morpheus. You want to be Lawrence Fishburne, the homeless guy.
He wasn't homeless. He ruled the underworld.
And it's also inevitable. It's not a matter of wanting.
Right. I see. By the time this thing comes out. Thank you, Kate.
You're welcome.
I feel like
I didn't. Chrisicon says I played D&D with David Harbour. I did not. Chris Perkins is the one who got to DM for David Harbour, unfortunately. But he was amazing.
He was. Of all of the, I mean, I think all the performances that were really good, but that particular game, he leaned into D&D, like what D&D is, so hard. It was insane. He did a great job. Hopefully he'll be a sponsor of our show.
Yeah. Does he know someone from Windsor Newton as well?
Well, we're still working on that. We're going to work out those details.
I know. It's not like I haven't tried.
Yeah, it's just, they're English, Got to give them time. Got to give them time.
You what?
Do we have any English folks on?
Yeah.
Anybody from England?
No, they're all asleep. You're safe.
Oh, okay. We're good. We can make fun of them then. Okay.
Hey, listen, man. I spent time in England. It's great.
Yeah, I know. It's a great place. I've only been to London, but there's a Walls collection in London. So if you don't see anything in London, see that.
A walrus? A wallet?
It's a walrus collection.
Like a walrus? Of wallets made out of walruses?
Yeah, it's really weird. But it's a whole museum.
It's a British first. No. Did you know I was when I was visiting London, they had in their science museum the Lord of the Rings exhibit where they brought all the props and all of the miniatures.
Oh my God, you're
there.
kidding me. Like all the wettest stuff?
Yep. And it was so expensive. It was like, it was 50 pounds to get in.
Holy
or
smokes.
something.
And back then
Oh,
it was
35
like,
or something like that.
$200 or something.
Yeah. Yeah. It was double. It was double American bucks. It was like incredible, you know? So I didn't see it, but some other people saw it and said it was nuts.
Yeah. You were like, I'm going to pass.
Yeah. It's like, I've seen the movies.
I saw the props in the movie.
Well, because Return of the King was coming out. This dates me, right? And so I saw the Return of the King in England with my friends.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was wild.
I none of my friends were into the Lord of the Rings, and so when
not even the movies,
and when Return of the King came out, the local theater in Spokane did
what misspelled it on the marquee.
Classic.
The King returns.
They showed the Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, and then at midnight they showed the premiere of Return of the King. So I was there like all day.
Oh my God!
None of my friends wanted to go because they didn't care about Lord of the Rings. They thought it was nerdy. So I'm in this theater by myself
for 9
hours. Sitting by myself, just watching the Lord of the Rings.
I had friends who came with me because I'm cool. Hey, Tyler, question from Capron. I'm going to keep saying it wrong, Capron. I'm sorry. Tyler, question. Last week, you mentioned encountering roadblocks when turning from digital to traditional painting. Would you please elaborate?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed that anyone, I just want to point out that anyone remembers anything we say from week to week. So
yeah, I'm impressed
kudos.
too. I think the roadblocks for me were, I'm used to doing kind of what I'm doing right now digitally, and I've done it for like 10 years, and it's just doing things on the fly. Like I put in all these crazy arms that it would be a lot more difficult to do that in oil. So I'm used to a lot more flexibility and changing things on the fly, changing colors dramatically, doing big giant value shifts with adjustment layers. I'm used to doing all that stuff. So now I have to plan a lot more than I used to, because I have to plan all those things out ahead of time digitally, and so that I can just go right into the paint and not have to worry about all those big shifts that I'm used to doing. So there's just a lot more planning, and those end up just being roadblocks for me because they're massive changes in the process that I usually work with. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're big roadblocks, but it's definitely I got to change the way I think quite a bit. Good question. Thank you. Yes.
A question from Aaron Rufino. Aaron asks, since you guys love film, are there any art directors or directors of photography that you like?
Oh my God.
Okay, so
let's go down this road.
As much as I'm like encyclopedic about, like artists and like like painters and illustrators, Tyler's the same way with film. So I can't tell you who the director of photography was on a given movie, but I can tell you if I liked it or not. So like, Tyler, who is Blade Runner's DP?
Well, the new Blade Runner.
No, the original. We'll start there first.
Shoot, offhand, I'm not sure. I remember. I don't know.
Man, I propped you up.
I don't know if I have that.
I pumped you up. And
don't worry, I've already done some pumping up in the chat. I think I know who Tyler is going to be the most excited about, and I have a small wager in my head. Tyler.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Who's your favorite DP?
Right. Wait, I just want to hold on. I want to look up who this. Okay. It was Jordan Cronenwell.
Yeah,
that was the DP for the original Blade Runner. Amazing, amazing DP. But honestly, I think the greatest DP that's ever lived and may ever live is Roger Deakins, who was the DP for the new Blade Runner, 2049. But he's also the DP on almost every Coen Brothers film.
Oh, really?
He is an absolute genius. and I've annoyed Kate to no end, gushing over this visual genius.
I have never been annoyed by it. Also, I just want to bet with myself. So.
Oh, well, nice. Congratulations. He's so just a little back history, I guess. Roger Deakins has been in the industry forever, and he would be a massive loss when he's no longer with us. But he's kind of in his prime right now, I'd say, and he's doing absolutely some of the best work. I think some of his top for me is Blade Runner. When he works with Denis, I don't know how to pronounce it in French. It's Denis Villeneuve, something like that.
Yeah.
Or Villeneuve. When he works with that particular director, he worked. He was a director of photography for Sicario, which has some of the best DP work next to Blade Runner. It's unbelievably gorgeous. He's a lot like who's the guy that Fincher works with? I'm blanking on his name too. David Fincher worked with. I always loved. I think David Fincher's worked with only 2 DPs over the years, but the guy he worked with for like Girl with a Dragon Tattoo and I think it was a different one for 7, but the same DP that with the Social Network. Him and this particular DP and Roger Deakins are both like really into available light. Like they shoot scenes that are it's not overlit, right? It's not like the DP that Spielberg works with in his like action movies where like everything's rim lit and crazy. It's always like, especially in like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo or any of the Roger Deakins movies. Sicario is a good example, or Arrival, where it looks like it's the lights that are available in the scene. So if there's a lamp on, if they're standing in front of a big diffused window, nothing's like crazy rim lit by a clearly off scene lamp that's not real. It's all like a great example of this is in Sicario. There's this scene where she's getting ready for this raid and they're all with all these police officers, and it's like right at dusk, right as the sun's going down, and they just keep shooting as the light goes away and goes away and goes away until the end of the shot is just silhouettes. There's no lights on anyone's faces. There's no weird rim lights coming in from anywhere. It's just the horizon at a deep dark blue and just silhouettes of people. And they just kept shooting, and they use that. It's amazing. Roger Deakins all the way. Go
I
check
felt
him
like
out,
Blade
everybody.
the Blade Runner was like that, the new one.
Yeah.
Ways,
It wasn't
because-
overlit, which is
No.
I'm usually a big. I can't stand when something's overlit.
Hey, follow up from Aaron Rufino. Tyler, can you explain what a DP actually does?
Yeah, I mean, they are the cinematographer. So I think a lot of people give a lot of credit to the director as like the director is essentially the captain of the ship, whereas the producer paid for the ship. The director is the captain of the ship, and some directors are more involved in cinematography than others. Some directors really like to just hand it to an expert. I think, like the directors of Skyfall and No Country for Old Men and Sicario and Blade Runner and other Deakins movies there is a DP of, they left it up to him to be the director of photography. And that is in itself what they do is they're in charge of the camera moves. They work with the lighting people to light the scenes. They're in charge of essentially the look of the movie, and the feel, I guess, the movement and just the overall continuity of how the film is shot with photography. So like a few years back, Guillermo del Toro was really upset that the Oscars was going to ditch. They were gonna take it off of the. Not actually remove the category.
The main, you're talking best cinematographer, right?
Yeah, they were going to take cinematography out of the main show. It was still going to be a category and still get an award, but they were going to take cinematography and editing out of the main show. And it's like you can take everything else away from a movie, but those are the 2 things you can't take away from a motion picture.
Right.
Is cinematography and editing. You don't have anything otherwise. So that's why I think that it's such a crucial thing to look up. You know, if you think a movie's really great, look up who the director of photography is, because they made that movie. They made the visuals of that movie, or they were in charge of the visuals of that movie. So I think they're a very underrated position in filmmaking, that they don't get all the credit that they should be due. And yeah, I saw that Aaron Ruffino correct. His Deakins' work in 1917 is mind blowing. He had to create. He was in charge, because he's the DP. He's in charge of making that movie look like a single shot.
Wow.
They worked really hard to make that movie look like one continuous shot, and that means that the DP has to figure out how to do that.
Wow.
Oscars all around right there.
Who's the DP for Star Trek 5?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I had to do it.
The Final Frontier, second to last of the original Star Trek movies. I mean, I really do hate that movie, Ray. I don't know why.
That's the most like earnest, like just, you know, it's like you being straight up with me as a friend, you know, like, and the fact that it like just
I mean,
on a moral level, it just doesn't.
They had a killer DP on it though. Andrew Leslow. He did he was a DP for the Warriors and First Blood. I mean, come on, Rambo, and Interspace, a very forgotten movie that we all forgot about.
Yeah, you hate Rambo and you hate Interspace.
Have you seen Interspace?
No, I've seen the Warriors though, and that blew me
Warriors
away.
Is great.
How about the Warriors? Like, I love movies that are shot like that with available light, like Warriors, like Escape from New York. John Carpenter's like, at least Escape from New York felt like that too. Like
I would say, yeah, he's hit or miss. I think when it comes to that, because some stuff's like crazy overlit, but
right, like Escape from LA.
Yeah,
like Escape from LA was over.
Escape from LA was overlit. The Thing was super nice and available light. I thought, you know, a lot of rim lighting when it comes to like the monsters and stuff, because that's
right.
pretty typical, because you want to show off the effect there. But he's pretty good at that, especially like They Live is pretty all available light.
It's been so long, so I have to rewatch that. That's so hard to find on streaming.
Yeah, I don't even think it is.
You could find on streaming.
So good. Yes.
Hey, Krizikon has a question for y'all. How many ears does Spock have?
Oh, is this a joke?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play into it. 2?
Ray?
1.
Well, you add your 2 answers together and you get the real answer. It's 3. His left ear, his right ear, and his final front ear.
Oh, that got me good.
Woo!
And that's your daily
coming at you, your daily jokes.
Daily jokes here. This is a multimedia show. This is a variety show.
One hell of a production is what you're trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the who's the director of DP?
Roger Deakins?
No, yeah, this is the Roger Deakins of Twitch streams, folks. You know. Oh God. So I am starting to fill in the gaps on this thing. Finally, jeez, it's taking forever.
It's looking good, man.
Yeah, 10-minute warning.
Yeah.
Oh, 10 minutes. Okay, quick. I'm gonna finish.
So where are you at? Are you gonna? What's your current status here?
I think I've made the weird anatomy changes that I want. It might be overkill at this point on this guy, but it's funky. It's fun. I think I'm gonna go with it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna I could definitely finish this up next stream, and I say this thinking like, Where have you heard that before? Heard that before, Ray? You know.
Oh well, don't worry. I don't think I'm there either. I think I want to work more on these knights next stream. I think they need to change. I need to change their poses just a little bit, and they're just kind of standing there, a little boring. So I'll probably mess around with them some more next week.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so then I could spend a little bit more time on this thing. This is nice.
Yeah, you know, we're relaxing. We're making work. It's not. I imagine. I mean, I don't often get to do it. I don't know if you do too, right? Maybe you do. I don't get to just kind of noodle on stuff like this too much. So
No,
this is pretty fun. Just kind of messing around.
Well, the new piece I'm working on, the one that I've been showing you in progress of, it's been, I've been, it's like a race against time.
Yeah.
So
you got to get that ready for a show, right?
I got to get it sent out to a gallery because I've been, you just got to keep up with the inventory. So, you know, I can't sell paintings if there aren't any, right? Or they're very little. So, yeah. So it's not like this has a place. I think that this definitely has I have a gallery in mind to send this to, but I don't mind taking a little bit extra time while I finish up other things, you know?
Right.
So it affords me the time. But I've done, you know, so far 2 pieces out of this, but I don't know if you can start to see this. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it on the stream. The little dabs, getting kind of an impressionistic feeling to it.
Yeah. I mean, on the piece you're working on now for the gallery, you said you're having a lot of fun kind of doing the dabbing over the ground, over the gray.
Oh yeah,
gray ground.
yeah. And now I'm up to the oil painting part, which is nice because now I'm basically filling in the little gaps and pumping the colors and what I'm going to do here with this, but it just, all of that interest from the underlayer really shines through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a big fan of just the layered look, and that's how I achieve it. And that's the reason why I'm using acrylics, because they dry fast. I could definitely do this in oils, but I wouldn't be able to layer it as much. And I think that's the advantage of using something like acrylics, because I'm taking advantage of its drying time. So feel free to, you know, experiment with it.
Yeah, man, have fun out there, everybody.
You could do oils.
Fun.
Oils over acrylics, but you can't do acrylics over oils.
And why is that?
Because the acrylics won't bond to the oils until they'll start to flake off. It's like water and oil, you know.
Right, because it's the oil painting is a layer of oils, and so there's nothing for the water-based. Well, I mean, I guess acrylic's not really water-based, but
water-based.
It is, yeah, right. It's water-based, but it's not. There's nothing for it to hold on to, so it's just gonna.
Right.
Eventually, it may come off, and probably will.
Yeah, it'll peel off on you. It won't stick especially if you go heavy on it.
I think we talked about this on the stream, didn't we? In my undergrad, I received an interesting art education, but somebody there would routinely do this whenever they messed up on their oil painting. One of the teachers, they would gesso back over it. So I thought that was fine, right? And so I get to grad school and someone's asking, like, how do I fix this part? I'm just like, well, I learned you could just gesso right over it. You cannot gesso over oil paint. It's just like, it's putting acrylic over oil paint. I don't know who this was, but they listened to me.
Oh no.
And they did it, and it just fell right off.
Oh my God.
Just fell right off. So I don't know what the lesson is there. I guess double check what your teachers tell you.
Don't listen to Tyler. It's that simple.
Yeah. So I was totally sabotaged, I guess, in that scenario.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know, right? It's like, you know, and it probably worked okay for you at the time because you painted pretty thinly, right?
Well, I never really gessoed over any old paintings.
Oh, okay. So
but I was really... just like the teacher was just like, when I don't like this area, I just gesso right over it and then just paint back in there with oils again. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that works. Now, this particular teacher, their personal work was incredibly thin. It was all washes, and so maybe it worked fine. Like it never, the bond never broke.
Yeah.
Because they were working so thin, so they never saw that was never going to work.
Right.
Anyways, I gave someone some very bad advice, and definitely ruined one of their paintings.
Woo! Oh, I remember that. I don't know who it was. It wasn't me, because I remember telling you, like, no, you can't do that. You crazy?
Yeah, but I had no clue. Yeah.
Kepron wants to know, can you gesso over acrylics though?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Because gesso is acrylic based, so it's just acrylics with some pumice, ground pumice in it, or something to give it like a toothiness.
And it's exactly what. It's funny this procedure that I received in my undergrad for oil painting, which didn't work at all, is exactly what Drew Struzan does, but with only acrylic. So when he messes up a section, he said he'd just go back over that section with gesso and start again. And it works for him because he doesn't use any oil paint. It's all acrylic and Prismacolor. So, but I mean, Prismacolor is not acrylic, but it's a wax, and you can gesso right over the top of it.
Yeah, it's stable. Yeah. I mean, you could, or you could just spray fix it and then gesso over it. I mean, it's nothing too crazy. But oils and acrylics, you don't want to do that. Now we're talking about acrylic-based gesso. There is like and I'm sure that's what most people are talking about. There is like the marble dust, and I forgot how the heck you make it. Base gesso, the traditional one that would go out over like a wood panel for tempera painting. But
that's the stuff that has a lot of calcite in it, right?
Yes.
It's really chalky.
It's really chalky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I actually like that.
I've never used it.
When in my undergrad, we made a lot of our own canvases, and we used that really, really chalky stuff. I think it was Golden. It might have been Golden's. Their gesso is really chalky.
So it's acrylic, but it's kind of like meant to replicate that.
Yeah, I don't think it is the same stuff, but it's
because I could see where you could do that.
Real calcite-y feel where it feels like a chalk on a chalkboard kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I mean, I don't know how I like my gesso. Actually, I haven't used gesso in a while.
Yeah, I use matte medium. So
yeah, matte medium. Yeah, how does that rank?
I think so. When I use Liquitex gesso, to me that's like I put down a layer of plastic.
Yeah,
and it's just too slick. No matter what you do, it's way too slick. Versus the really calcite-y gesso that I had when I was in undergrad, I'd say matte medium's closer to that. It's really toothy. It's not as toothy as ultra matte medium, but it works really well for me. I think we're at a 2-minute mark here, but
we're 2 minutes. Okay. Well, sweet. I'm gonna keep looking at this thing. Let me take a look at yours. Whoa, you going nuts over there, man. It's looking good.
Yeah, I wanted to fool around with I don't know. I thought the little arms I had were okay, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't feel really weird and alien. So I thought maybe they got like a regular stubby arms and like really stubby arms, and then these weird long reachy ones. So I just wanted to make it really wonky.
It's like a horror movie where you see like, okay, he's got multiple arms. That's kind of weird. What's going on there? And then like the camera pans up and like in the distance behind him, you see like the like the crazy arms with like the weapons come out. It's almost like you're, oh my God.
Or like Benny's arm in Total Recall.
Benny!
When he like reveals his crazy arm.
Oh my God.
I have 5 kids to feed.
Benny! The greatest ever. It's the greatest ever. Oh.
All right, we'll wrap it up, guys.
Okay. All right.
Oh man, can we talk about Total Recall next week, everybody?
Yeah. Yes, please.
You got a raw deal. Have you seen Raw Deal as well? Should we talk about Raw Deal? Okay, it's 7 o'clock.
Oh my God.
It's 7 o'clock my time, now, folks.
All right, everyone.
All right.
Well, that is all the time we have for this session. I'm going to be continuing this next stream. Should be fun. Hopefully, get close to wrapping it up. Yeah, I've been Ray Bonilla. You can find my work at RaymondBonilla.com and on Instagram at Ray Bonilla Painter. And
I have been this time. I haven't been Ray Bonilla. I've been Tyler Jacobson this time. Last week I was Ray Bonilla. And you can find me at TylerJacobsonArt.com. I'm also on Instagram at TylerJacobsonArt. And next week I will be continuing to work on this guy.
And I've been Weird Al Yankovic. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night. And